Hey everyone, it's Rambling Hour with Lisa, season 15, episode 3. Here we are in the garden. Not the best place here. I tried to set you up a little so you could see some of the garden, but what the garden is this year is basically chaos. Well, I'm just letting things grow to their heart's desire. This isn't even a real flower. These are rusty old. They used to be blue. There's 3 of them. They used to be, I don't even know if they light up anymore. But every pot is just, and there's some of the blue, in chaos of whatever. I'm trying to get things into the ground in the raised bed. So many things are suffering because I just am not giving them the love they need. This is a really pretty fuchsia that I've had for a couple years. It's not in the center of the pot, so I'm going to repot this and maybe a bigger pot so it gets more moisture when I neglect it, and maybe it'll stand up straight. And actually this would be because of the way that it's been neglected, it might be a good one for doing like a bonsai with. But anyways, I gotta stop neglecting things, and I gotta start writing things down for whomever is going to be watering my garden and taking care of things when we're gone, because it's only a couple weeks now until we 14, 21, so less than 3 weeks until we go to Canada. So I have been doing today a little bit of, it's just all over the place. Like, I have to work in every room in the house, and we've had such nice weather the last few days, but I haven't been able to be outside the whole time because other things still need to be done. Finally, Erica, her prom is coming up in so again, my maths, what day is it today? Today's the 23rd. So like less than 2 weeks or something for her prom. And we finally got a dress, which is great because that's been something that's been stressing me to the max. She's got a dress, but tomorrow we got to go shopping for shoes. And Aurora needs a dress because she has a certificate ceremony. There's doctor's appointments and college inductions, and obviously grocery shopping someday, and art class, and just all the regular stuff, like trying to keep up. Like today was just cleaning the kitchen in the morning and trying to get outside, but I had other things to do. What was the other thing that I did today so anyways, it's just all over the place trying to get things done in the house. We babysat last week, which was nice. And okay, so last Sunday was Father's Day. I talked to you guys then. It was nice to have a family together for that. I had art class last week, grocery shopping, the same types of things, just trying to get things done. Today I've been trying to get in the garden. I've got a little bit of time in here, but it just gets dark so early. So right now the sun is in the front of the house. So if I went and sat in the front garden, well, you can see the sun behind me on those trees back there. So the sun is on the other side of the house. So if I sat in the front garden, I would be in the sun. But back here, there's no more sun. But that's okay because it's like in the 20s out, which is fine. But it gets darker faster. You know what I mean? And you just I don't know. I don't know what I'm rambling on about. I have some things to talk about this week that I have planned in my mind. But see, this is the thing. I have things like all over the place like this. What to show you first. Okay. Another dead bonsai. So that, I mean, the moss is nice and this grass is nice, so the pot isn't, but I could cut that down before somebody, and I think it's totally dead. Let's see if it's green underneath. Yeah, it's dead. But so whoever's watering my plants doesn't need to water that necessarily, but, and then I have here's some fuchsias that, these are cuttings that I did of a fuchsia that is actually a really expensive fuchsia. Wait, where's the mother plant to this? Oh, back there, right there. And these are cuttings that I have, so I don't want them to die, but I probably should repot them now. Let's see how the roots are in there. This has probably been in here, well, it's not too bad, but it's not too good, but that's only because of my neglecting as well. Could be in a bigger pot so that the person doesn't need to worry about it more. There's 2 of them down there. Anyways, what's new with you guys? What have you been up to this week? Yes, I'm a little bit manic because I'm just thinking of everything that needs to get done and feeling like I don't have enough time to get it all done, and it's going to be Canada soon, and I want to have everything in order for that, plus doing everything here, and my mind is just obsessed with scrapbooking, which is not a priority when we're going across the world in a few weeks. I need to put that on the back burner and just get on with things, including the garden, even though it seems a little bit like a hobby. Well, it is, but there is, like, I really do need to get out here like I did today and weed or cut things back or just like put things into the ground in the raised beds or whatever, so it's easier for whoever is taking care of this and more likely that I won't come back to a lot of dead plants. There'll be birds. You'll see, if I show you down here, you'll see that is my work right now. I've been going in this side of the bed, cutting things back, taking weeds out and stuff like that. So I've been working on this side. I did put pots back in places where it'll keep the dogs out of there while the things grow back that I've cut back and everything else. But there is birds. So I heard something over there. It's probably just a bird. You can hear the birds roosting as well. Well, what shall we talk about? So, where to begin? When I'm done this, what do you call plunge? There's definitely something over behind me making noise. Like I said, it's probably just a bird. Oh yeah, it is. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a blackbird. You'll see it in here. There's a blackbird just checking out where I've been working to see what goodies I have brought to the surface for him to eat or bring home to his mate and such. Anyways, my brain has, you'll just have to bear with me because like I said, I'm a bit manic because I'm just thinking what I was saying, the plunge pool. On days like this, even though I haven't really been outside much, slow connection. I'm going to shut off the internet because I'm outside. Sorry, I went on to 4G because I'm outside, so it said slow connection. It's probably just trying to go between the 4G in the area and the house Wi-Fi. So it's probably better if I just do it this way. Yeah, I'm drinking pop and water, but yes, there is pop in that diet. Because unfortunately, I like an emotional eater or such, I medicate with food and drink, and not alcohol, but like pop is my thing. So when I'm feeling manic or stressed or anxious or like that, I tend to want to eat, snack, drink, pop, and have things that aren't good for me, but they feel like a reward. Like, listen, you got to get through all this stuff, but here, if you do good, then you can have some more pop. And so that's what I really want to talk about today, especially if I'm just rambling to myself and people aren't. Oh, there's a female blackbird over there. The female blackbirds are brown and their beaks are plain. I don't like, kind of a brownie, like not anything, but the blackbird males are black and they have really bright orange beaks. So they're territorial, so the ones that are in this garden are either territories that connect near each other or they're related. So what I'm saying is, if I'm only rambling to myself and nobody else is interacting right now live, what I want to talk about is this exact thing: the chaos of the garden, the family, the hair. I haven't done my hair because I need to do my roots and I don't have any dye. So I need to get the dye, which I haven't got yet, to do the roots anyways. So this is what I want to talk about because I was listening to a podcast and I was talking about things like on social media and everything else and how people show their lives as this perfect life. And like even when I do how I like to decorate for different seasons and then I take pictures of each room with all the decorations. There's the blackbird there. Oh, he flew away. That's him singing now. So he'll come back probably. So I take pictures of each room with the decorations, but I only take the pictures after I've cleaned that room and made everything look nice. Then I take the pictures. Then I move on to the next room and make sure everything's clean and organized in that room, take the pictures, and then I post them. So it looks like my house is clean all at the same time and everything's perfect. But that's how social media works for lots of things. But I want to be real with people who watch my rambling hours or look at my Instagram and things like that. Because listen, I get that I have a really good life. I'm not saying this in a conceited way, but I know that I am pretty and I'm aging well. I know that I am not as like I have gone through phases in my life where I didn't have money, but I know that I grew up middle class, and I'm higher middle class right now too. We're not like rich, but I'm comfortable and I don't have to worry about anything, and I don't have to work out of the house. And I'm not saying any of these things in a braggy way. I'm saying them as I'm aware of the comfortable lifestyle I have and how I love my house. I love my garden. The kids are average, normal people. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing that I can overly complain about in my life, and I don't take that for granted at all. But I also want to get real. I do not want to make people have the illusion that everything is perfect in my life or anybody else's life, because it's the same thing with like my happy posts and being positive and everything else. We know that I suffer from depression, so we know that I have down days. We know that like lots of my rambling hours, I will fancy myself up and actually have a shower and like do my hair and makeup and choose some clothes that look nice. But this is the real me. This is me without makeup. This is me without doing my hair for days. So there's probably knots in there that you wouldn't believe. There's no product in there. Probably not. I don't think there's product in there. And if there is, it's anyways. And then the clothes, you know, I'm not working out like I want to be. So I'm not as fit as I want to be, although I'm not as big as I've been in the past. So I'm not going to complain about that either. I'm wearing, whatever. Legs aren't shaved. Like I'm just a real person living a real life. But I don't want to take for granted all the good things I have. But I don't want it to also look like everything's just wonderful and perfect. So something else, so that's what one of the reasons that I didn't get ready for the live, besides the fact that I am stressed. I am stressed, and there was two big things that were stressing me out. One is Allison's financial stuff for university, which is almost done, except now, instead of me just being able to tell them my income is nothing, because I don't have a national insurance number here, which I can easily get. The girls have them because Steve got them for them when they were going to do their, driving, to get their driver's license, which they haven't done that yet either. But they have their national insurance numbers, and they can work with that. I don't have one, but it's not like I couldn't have got it. Had I known that it would have been easier if I got it, a couple months ago, just for this process of Allison's financing, that I would have done it. But so because I don't have one, I have to fill out this 14-page thing talking about my income or no income, or why I don't have a national insurance number. Anyways, that was one of the things that was stressing me out, especially when I was relying on other people. Now it's on my shoulders because Steve's done his part, Al's done her part, it's on me. So the only person I can blame now is me. That's the blackbird making lots of noise on top of the shed. And the other thing that was stressing me out was Erica's prom and not having a dress. Now we still have to get shoes and everything else, but she has the dress. It's beautiful. She loves it. It fits perfect. It was a reasonable price, and I had put that order into the universe to please make it simple when we did find it. It was literally from everywhere, looking at Marketplace, looking in charity shops, looking at shops yesterday when we went shopping. It was literally the first one she tried on, and Steve wasn't comfortable with that. And I explained it to the girls like this: the same way that I get frustrated with Steve because I want to just get something done, but he needs to research and look at all the different options and see what's best and what this and that. I get so frustrated with that. It's like, okay, listen, that's great for up to a point, but let's just get this done. He has the same anxiety that I get for him taking so long with things. He gets that same anxiety from me making impulse decisions. So to me, it was like, what? It fits? I didn't even know if it was going to fit. I said, just go try it on. She liked it. She liked the color. And to other people, it might look like it's the first one we tried on, but they don't know how many we've looked at. And she said, no, I don't like that. No, I don't like this because of that and that. We've looked at so many, and she didn't like anything. She saw this one. She said, I like this one. I don't know if the color is my color, but I do like this one. And I said, okay, well, go try it on. And again, I didn't know if the fit was going to work or not. But she went in, she came out, it fit her perfectly. Like, nothing needed to be cinched, taken in, nothing. It fit her perfectly. She liked it. You could see in her face that she was happy about it. And I was like, yes, let's go. Let's get it. And then Steve was like, whoa, why are we just going with the first one that she's tried on? How does she know there's not other ones out there? I'm like, no, this has been weeks of stress to me. I put it out in the universe for this to be simple. It fits. She likes it. She's happy. It's her Tom is like too close for this is just go. So he's stressed because I made an impulse decision. I'm stressed because he doesn't like my impulse decision, but I get it. And the girls are like, what's going on? And I'm like, no, don't. You can't be frustrated with Dad because he's having the same feeling that I have when we have to research and everything. And if we had more time, great. But I just, yeah. So one thing, these things are, so those are the two big things that have been driving me crazy. This is what I want to just get real with you guys about the fact that I can come on here and act like everything's great. And, you know, I went to art class and everything, like, and going in the garden and my beautiful house and beautiful dinners. Well, Steve got frozen chili, the last one again. There was only one frozen chili. You know why? Because the chili is so good when we make it that there's never any left to freeze. I know we need to make bigger batches or make them specifically to freeze, but he got a frozen meal. The girls, and well, Tom's gone out, so he'll probably eat when he's out, but the girls, they can fend for themselves, but there's hot dog buns and hamburger buns on the counter that need to be eaten, so they can just make some hot dogs in the, I don't even care if they make them in the microwave, or I made them last time in the drawer Ninja, which they actually turned out really well, and because then before I made hamburgers and hot dogs on the barbecue, but the hot dogs turned out just as good in the drawer Ninja as on the barbecue. So what my point is that today is not one of those days where I made a nice dinner. Today is a day where, like, I warmed up Steve something from the freezer, and I will do the same for me. Unfortunately, it's not chili, but it'll be something from the freezer, probably like pork stew or beef stew, which is great. But yeah, it's something frozen, quick, easy meal, and the kids can fend for themselves. Like I said, I didn't get ready for my live. This is just a typical day. This is not a day where the house is clean, everything's hunky-dory and everything else. It's just, but it is an average day. And like, until we go to Canada, I'm going to be like this, like a little bit manic and all over the place. And yes, everything will get done and everything will be fine. I'm not stressed to a point of like, I think everything's going wrong. I don't think anything's going wrong. It's just that there's a lot to do to keep me on schedule. I'm still listening to podcasts and stuff, and okay, so I have a different Instagram, which is more about my witchy stuff, because I don't think most people care about my witchy stuff. So I wanted to have it a separate thing where I can learn more about it and connect with people who are learning about it and everything else. So I have a separate like Instagram that's more witchy. If you care, then you can watch it. I mean, you can follow it. It's like Witch Peppertooth. But if you don't, that's fine too. There is somebody who started following me and liking my posts, and it was called Beyond the Seas Podcast, and I'd never heard of it, and I didn't know what Beyond the Seas meant. I like the name of the podcast. It works when you listen to the podcast, but it doesn't really give away what the podcast is about. It is about more of the metaphysical and witchy and that kind of stuff. It's a male named Kieran who does the podcast. And anyways, he was liking some of my stuff, and he had this goal to have 250 followers by summer solstice, which was a couple days ago. And I was like, okay, I guess I can follow him. But at the same time, do I want to, I mean, yes, it's cool if we connect, but I was like, what's the podcast about? Do I want to tell people about the podcast so you can get more followers? I need to listen to it to see if it was any good or not. He doesn't have like a huge amount of episodes, hence why he probably doesn't have a huge amount of followers. He did reach his goal of over 250. He has almost 300 followers now on his Instagram. But I listened to the podcast, and it actually is so good. And he's such a good storyteller. And it is like, they're not long episodes, and I'm learning about different things. But I also like the way he does it, and he does it in a storytelling way. And he tells you to get your bottle of red, which mine's a bottle of brown, because I don't, Samantha says bonjour. Bonjour, Samantha. I don't drink wine, but I do have my bottle of brown. And he says, and sit back, relax, and let me take you beyond the seas. And then he'll tell you like stories and myths and legends and like all this research he's done about whatever the topic is. And I really love it. I am like not sitting down and listening to it. I am just working while I listen to it, but I do want to go back and listen to them when I can. I want that to be like my daily or every second day or whatever, where I do actually just sit down and relax and listen to everything to his episodes. So if you are interested in stuff like that, you can check out his podcast. Again, it's called Beyond the Seas, and I think that you you might like it. So yeah, Beyond the Seas podcast. Mom says, hi Lisa, hi Mom, and Samantha says, who is this? It sounds really interesting. So that's what I said. Yes, it is. I do look forward to when I can have a glass of pop or even a nice cup of tea and just sit down, close my eyes, and then take in his storytelling in a way of giving myself a half an hour or 45 minutes of just zoning in and learning from him, but also like letting someone tell me his story. So it's really cool that he's liking my stuff on Instagram, as well as that it is a good podcast. I haven't told him all this stuff either about why I do really like. I did say I liked his podcast. I said I listened to a couple episodes and I do like your podcast, but I was only listened to 2 episodes and it's gotten better since then. Samantha says, will you share it on your page, please? Which page do you want me to share it on? Like my regular page or my witchy page or all of them? I can do all of them if you want. So people won't be surprised that I'm listening to a podcast about it. The 2 podcasts that I'm listening to the most right now, one of them is called The Secret Witch, and it's more aligned to, because remember I told you guys about, Samantha says all of them. So yeah, I'll share it on all of them. You know, when I talked about like learning more about witchcraft and all that kind of stuff, and one of my fears about talking about it is that, you know, like how people got burned at the stake before, and that there is this fear of that even if you're interested in witchcraft, or not even to practice it, but just to learn about it and see what it's about and stuff, is like you're just afraid because it's been because women especially, but even some men, people have literally been killed over their beliefs of different religions and everything else. So you're learning about, whether it's a positive or negative experience learning about it, you're learning about something that people have died for, and it is scary. So the Secret Witch is talking to people who want to, you know, practice this stuff, or feel like they probably always have been a witch, or maybe in a past life they were, but they're scared to be their true selves. But it also is more of a feminine, like, I mean, men can listen to it too, but it's about finding who you are inside and letting that person out, whether it is a witch or whether you just want to be more creative and do more art, but you're scared of what people are going to say or what they're going to. So I am a very confident person already. So there's a lot of stuff in the podcast that I'm like, yeah, I've already done that work on myself and everything else, but I'm still learning things. Plus so a secret witch is somebody who is scared to come out, or they are practicing in secret because of what other people, including their family or their spouse or whoever, will say about, you know. So anyways, that's a good podcast as well that I'm listening to. I started from the beginning of that. That one has more episodes than Beyond the Seas, but those are the 2 that I'm listening to right now. With the Secret Witch podcast, one of the episodes that, well, it kind of goes in different episodes, but one specifically, I think I don't know if there was a few minutes of a meditation, or if she just said to think about it, but it was talking about, okay, so like manifesting and stuff like that. The thing about manifesting is it's not just thinking about what you want and putting your order out into the universe. You have to work towards it as well. But it talked about who you want to be and to visualize that person. So again, even whether it's witchy or not, I was like, okay, so then I wanted to talk to you guys about this too. I want you to like close your eyes, unless you're listening to this while you're driving or whatever, if you're safe to do so, or come back to this later. I'm not going to do meditation with you, a guided meditation, but it is a little bit like that. You can do this at another time, but just listen to what I'm going to say, and you can do it. There's not a lot of direction that I have to give you, so it doesn't matter if you do this later without listening to this. You'll know what I'm talking about. I want you to close your eyes, think about who you really want to be. And what I'm going to say she, because I'm talking about me, but if you're a guy watching this, then obviously when you're thinking about yourself, you say he, or whatever you identify as, okay? So who is she? This woman that you want to be. What does she look like? How is her hair? Ideally, if you could have who you really want to be, How does she look? What is her hair like? How does she style her hair? What color is it? What kind of clothes does she wear? What's on her feet? What kind of shoes does she wear? What does she have around her? Does she have books because she likes reading? Does she have art supplies because she likes doing art? Is she in the garden because that's what she likes doing? This ultimate version of you. Who is she? What type of friends does she have on the other end of a phone or down the street? So you, like, that's basically what it is just visualize who you really, really, really feel like you are or who you want to be. So maybe in my visualizations, I don't wear dirty old clothes, but maybe I do. And just who do I have the wardrobe of the person that I really want to be? Do I have the accessories in my house of the person that I really want to be? Is my environment, my friends, am I hanging around people who, and obviously not Samantha, because I love you, and I know you're the one who's supposed to be around me in this UK life, but like, are the people that I'm surrounding myself with the type of people that are going to help me to become who I really want to be? So it's so hard for me because of my depression and not being medicated when I was a teenager and all of that. I've had to work on myself so much that people who know me now do not understand how much personal therapy I have done for myself, and growth, and all of this stuff that people are doing now for themselves, and it's more mainstream and everything else. People do not understand how much of this I've already done for years and years and years, because I had to do these things just to function, just to get out of bed or want to talk to people or any of that. I've been doing this work since I was a teenager. I've done so much work on myself that it is unbelievable unless you've known me that whole time. And even then, I didn't talk about the work I was doing on myself to be a functioning human being, especially before, like I said, before medication, or before we knew what was wrong with me, because I wasn't diagnosed until 18, and that's when I started medication. And even then, like I said, it doesn't mean that everything's hunky-dory. You have to work your butt off to become a better version of yourself. So because people don't know of all of that work that I've done, and now I am who I am, I forget where other people are in their journey. I forget that there's so many people out there who have not done this work yet. There's people who, like listening to The Secret Witch, I forget that there's people who are inside of themselves scared of the world or scared of who they really are. I heard something on one of the podcasts about the pandemic and how that made people who are afraid to get to know themselves have a wake-up call, because people had to be at home by themselves and they didn't want to look at themselves. They didn't want to see who they really were and get quiet with themselves. Lots of people keep busy so they don't have to face who they really are. Or lots of people use medication, not medication, but like alcohol and drugs and everything else to dampen reality because they don't want to face who they are. And this is what I wanted to talk about today, is like the work on thyself, because yes, there's a lot that other people around us can and need to do for us, you know, like government and everything else. Like there's things around us that are out of our control that would make our lives better. But it all comes down to you. The only thing you can control is what you can do for yourself. So how much work have you done on yourself? Are you afraid to even face yourself? Literally, do you look at yourself in a mirror? Can you look at yourself in a mirror and say, I love you, I love that person looking back at me? Or do you avoid mirrors because you don't want to face that person, even the aging or whatever is going on? Do you medicate with, again, food for me, or sleep for me? I will sleep hours away so I don't have to face the shit that I don't want to deal with in life. That's not okay. It's just that's my choice of, you know, what. I don't know what that noise is. The neighbor using some type of, I don't know what that is. Anyways, so that is what I wanted to ramble about today, especially if people aren't interacting, although I know Samantha and my mom were watching and may still be. I'm at a half an hour now, but I can go on and on and on about this because I've done so much work on myself. But that's the crazy thing, is that I don't know, with like even people watching my rambling hours like this, what you guys want from me. I can talk about plant stuff till I'm blue in the face. Is that the saying? I can talk about the witch stuff that I'm learning about and spiritual stuff because I've been on that path for years now. I can talk about whatever you guys want me to talk about, but I don't know what you guys want from me, and I don't know. Sometimes I think, okay, so when we're talking about different, also with the podcast I've been listening to, they're talking about archetypes in life. And again, this has nothing to do with spiritual stuff or witch stuff. If you're an author and you write books, if you read books, you know that there's different archetypes that we have in life. That means like there's like there's the teacher, the medicine person, the healer, like the doctors and nurses. They have this calling to take care of people and heal. The teachers have this calling to teach and to pass on their wisdom and everything else. And there's all different types of archetypes. There's people who need to travel and go on adventures and find themselves and all those things. And so I'm listening to this and I'm thinking about, who am I? Well, I don't really think I'm a teacher. Like, I'm not like Steve and Jackie, where even when I learn all this stuff, even if I was doing it as long as they were, retain the information, I can't retain information like Steve can. So I can't give you guys the teachings that I have. Although I could do, you see, and this is why I love these podcasts, because like Kieran on Beyond the Seas, he'll do all his research on a subject and then he'll give you this episode of that stuff. Well, I could do that, or I could just tell you which podcasts I listen to, and you guys can, because he's already done the work, or whichever other ones, you can go and learn the stuff from them instead of me being like, oh, I did it. I'm going to do this episode on this specific thing. But where is my role? I don't know. I don't think I'm a teacher. I can ramble on, but I don't think I'm a teacher meant to have classes or students or teachers like that. I think part of my role is, and this again is not to be like tooting my own horn or being conceited, but I think I'm a type of a leader. So when I was looking at the different archetypes and I was thinking about who I am or who I've always been a kind of loner, even though I might know a lot of people and have really good friends that I know are my friends for life. I've always been kind of a loner. I've never had a group. I've never wanted to be part of a group per se. I do avoid people a lot, and I've always kind of, as even my mom will attest to, I've always went by the beat of my own drum. Now, I don't want to be a cult leader. I don't want to have people believe everything I say or do everything I do or do it my way. I just want to inspire and teach people, again, not a teacher way, but in being a leader or being whatever it is that I am, I want to help people to go on their own journeys. I want to inspire. I don't want to teach or control or have followers, like as in a group. I don't want that. I just want to speak my truth and hope that it inspires somebody to find themselves, to go on their journey and find themselves. The other thing I wanted to say about like spiritual stuff and even witchcraft and everything, and listening to these things, like I said before in other ones, the witchcraft stuff, like listening to them and them talking about doing rituals and then having all these different like herbs and stones and even like different whatever, like things to burn in and things to mix in and like all these like things, like physical things. You don't need all this stuff. If there's anything that I know, it's that we are enough just ourselves. Lots of things, let's see, what would be a good example? Maybe even in art, like, yeah, if I had all the latest things in art, like all the best paintbrushes and all the best paints and all those things, I might be able to create better. But if I don't have the skill to do it, then all those things don't matter. And that's the thing, is that this is something, again, I learned, and the birds are noisy, that I've learned listening to all, no matter what religion or belief system or spirituality or whatever you practice or learn about or whatever, the biggest things are the same. One of them is prayer, meditation, going within, connecting with the source, whether it's a goddess, a god, whatever you want to call your higher power, energy source, whatever. It's the biggest things are just going within, connecting, and all you need for that is quiet and your mind. And if you can't sit down and be quiet, like I can't sometimes, then you can do it while you're doing the dishes, while you're walking, while you're having a shower and getting ready for the day. There's all these times that you can practice just being in your head or connected or whatever. Like it's frustrating because I don't allow myself to sit down a lot. So I would love to just sit down and do a meditation every day, or do more work with like things like, or read these books so I can learn more and everything else, but I don't allow myself to do those things. But again, so it doesn't matter how much I learn about this stuff, I'm not going to get better or understand more or anything until, so no matter if you, let's say it's like an instrument, right? I can buy the best guitar ever and I can learn about all the ways to play a guitar and yeah, Uncle, oh wait, hang on, let's see. Sorry, I missed some comments there. Okay, all of them. Uncle Arthur says, hello there. Ash says, hi Lisa, hope you're having a wonderful day. Love to the family. That's Allison's boyfriend, Ash. Thanks, Ash. And Uncle Arthur says, can you tell the birds to quiet down? I can't hear you. Listen. I don't know why, but for a moment they're quiet. It'll start up again, especially the pigeons. They get noisy up there. But, so, what was I talking about? I was talking about, okay, I know I was talking about meditation and quieting down. A guitar. So I can buy the best guitar. I can read all about how to play a guitar. I can watch videos on how to play a guitar. And I can know everything about how to play a guitar and even teach other people by telling them how to do it. But I'm not going to get good at it if I don't play the guitar and practice and practice and practice. And it's so annoying because no matter what you want to do in life, if you want to skateboard, if you want to play the guitar, if you want to be the best plumber, if you want to, whatever your interests are for hobbies or your job or whatever, it's frustrating to accept that it is practice and work at it, and that nothing is going to come to you unless you put in the work. And that's frustrating for me too. Like I said, I've been on a spiritual journey for, well, probably my whole life, but like literally like since I met Steve and Jackie, more so in, you know, like 12 years, but even before that, because I started watching the ghost shows and everything else. So Mom says magpies are very noisy here. Yeah, magpies can be noisy too. And like I said, besides the ones that I had in the garden like the last couple of weeks before, I haven't seen them again, which is good. I tend to not have magpies in the garden, or I would run and chase them off. But the pigeons and doves can be just as noisy, as you can hear. So yeah, we hate to hear it, but it is. So like I said, no matter what you practice, prayer, meditation, whatever you want to call it, quiet time, reflection, those are really important. And practice at whatever you want to get good at. Nothing in life is going to come to us unless we work for it. This garden is not going to look good and survive unless I work at it. The good and the bad, right? Like pulling weeds might be relaxing, or it might be the thing that drives you the most crazy, but it has to be done, right? So you got to put in the work if you want to get the results. So that is the same with making ourselves into the best version that we can become. That's what I wanted to talk to you guys about, is how life isn't as perfect as social media makes it seem. We know that, but I was like, oh my God, am I one of those? Am I one of those people who make it look like I have it all together and that my life is like my life is super great, don't get me wrong. And I try not to take anything for granted, but my life is normal. My life is, you know, the kids are not the best kids in the world who do everything right and have it all put together either, right? So they drive us crazy, we drive them crazy, but we love them and they're normal. What's normal? You know, average. It's just it's an average family dynamic. You know, I don't know what to tell you. I have great, nice, long hair. I love my hair, but most of the time it looks like this. I have some nice clothes, but most of the time I'm dressed like this. Like, it's just, yeah. So, Mom says, going to see a little baby today. April is coming. So my cousin April, and I'm just checking my time. So my cousin April has 3 boys who are similar ages to the 3 girls, and the youngest I think is only 13, whereas our youngest is 15, turning 16. But after like 13 years, she had another one. So she had 3 boys, and now she has a baby girl. So I will meet her baby girl when I come to Canada, but I won't be there for the baby shower, like the introduction to the baby and stuff, and Mom's gonna see her later today. So say hi to April and to the baby and to her partner if he's gonna be there as well. But yes, so I don't know what else you guys want. Oh, you know, I listen to podcasts, and I tell you guys this all the time, where you watch things and you think about like taglines or things that people say all the time, and then they'll make like merchandise and like what speaks to them. And I was always wondering, what are the things that if I was to make merchandise, which I'm not saying I would, but if we did like rambling hour stuff, what are some of the phrases or words or things that I say that stand out? And I was listening to one of these back, especially when I don't have a topic or know what I'm going to talk about or no one's interacting with me. My goodness, do I say so many times, what else can I tell you about? What else can I tell you about? So that's me thinking about. But yeah, that I would say that's one of the phrases, good or bad, that I say way often. The only one is something that drives me crazy on the Secret Witch podcast is she says gorgeous. So she'll do this thing, and it just bugs me. Still worth the listen, but it just like, and then she'll say gorgeous so many times. Gorgeous, gorgeous. And I'm not saying it in a complaining way. I'm saying it as in the same as me saying, what else can I tell you about? Or other things that I probably say over and over and over. But I noticed that the other day when I listened to one of these back. If you can think of anything else that I say repeatedly that maybe drives you guys crazy even, let me know. Because, you know, I try not to do the ums and ahs and everything, especially because if you're doing something that's recorded and you put it out there in interviews and different things, when you say the ums and ahs and everything, lots of people can edit that and take those out. But when you're doing it live like this, you can't take them out, and they can be really annoying. So I have worked a lot, especially, I don't know when I started doing it, if it was specifically for this, or I've tried to do better public speaking where you learn to not have those, even if you have pauses, that you're not saying those kind of things. So I have worked on that a lot, but I'm still human, so especially when my mind goes blank or I don't know what to say, you still make those noises and those phrases and stuff. So I don't know why I keep checking the time. I really need to get another watch, don't I? So we're at 41 minutes, so we have 20 minutes left to ramble. It is starting to get a little bit darker here. I know you guys can't tell, but I have things still to get done in the garden that this night will not be over. Like, I am not going in the house as soon as I'm done this. As soon as I'm done this, I'm going to shut you guys off, get back to work, and get stuff done in the garden. Because, like I said, this week, even though the weather is super nice and I would love to be in the garden and there is things I need to do in the garden, I have to focus on the other things, like the shopping, like making sure the girls have what they need for their graduation or the prom and their certificate ceremony. I have painting class again this week, which I love, and it's only 2 hours, but it's still like a focus. And then grocery shopping and all those things that like still have to be done. Getting ready for Canada. I really need to start making my lists. Not only for what needs to be done here while we're gone, but what I need to make sure that we bring for Canada. What we need, not like, okay, I need to bring the suitcases down, and I need to bring the summer clothes down. We gotta see what we have and what we need to bring. If there's anything that you guys are watching in Canada, my friends and family who I'm gonna see, if there's things that you want from here for me to bring, let me know, obviously before we leave. So I need to make sure that if we don't already have it, we need to get it. Even things like Erica wants a new bathing suit. Yeah, of course we could do that when we're in Canada, but it would be easier if we did it here so we have it so that we're ready and everything else. So I need to find out what we have, what we need to bring. It's not as like it's our first time going to Canada, but so I do have a list that I have put on. And then what do we want to do in Canada? I need to start doing that too, telling people when we're going to be in certain areas, figuring out what the plans are. I don't want to overtake Mom's house and invite 700 people because it's not my house, but at the same time I want to have these in like Grand Prairie, in Edmonton. I want to have these local places or wherever so I can say this is where we're staying, this is what we're doing, places where people can come and see us when we're there and what days. So I need to figure all this out. Yeah, my brain is not going to stop. And we have a memorial next weekend as well. Steve and I are going to Scotland. So my next Sunday will either be that we're already home on that Sunday from Scotland, or it'll be on the road, in the car, I don't know. But yeah, so there's just, it's constant. There's so many things to get done from now until we go to Canada that my brain will not be stopping except for sleeping, which also I need to do that too, and make sure, especially with the kids out of school now and Steve being his own boss, I cannot keep sleeping in when there's too much to do, because those are taking, first of all, I don't need more sleep than I need. Do you know what I mean? And like I said, I could sleep for the Olympics. So if I don't force myself to get out of bed, or there's not something that I have to get out of bed for, I will keep sleeping. I will just keep sleeping, enjoying my dreams, enjoying the comfy bed. So I need to force myself to only get the hours that I need, or whatever time I'm getting up, even if I didn't have a good sleep, or I didn't get the hours because my body wouldn't go to sleep or whatever. I need to, if it's 8 o'clock that I need to get up, I need to do it and get things done. So no more of this sleeping in because Steve wants to miss traffic. If he wants to sleep in, that's on him, but I need to get my ass up and out and doing things. So there's no excuses. Even if I'm not doing my working out, even if I'm not doing my meditation right now, even if I'm not doing my scrapbooking, which I'd love to do right now because that's not a priority, I need to get up and make sure the things that need to be done are done. So what do you guys want to talk about? Is there anything on your minds? I want to be, oh, and one of the reasons I'm wearing shorts, even if I'm not shaving my legs, is because on nice days like this, if I'm going to be in the garden, I'm trying to build up my tan a little bit. But as you can see, like, compared to my stomach, my arms and stuff are tanning, but the parts of me that I don't put on display, listen, if it's up to me, I would garden naked, so I would have a nice, even tan. But, again, the neighbors won't like that, and I think it's kind of illegal in a way. Well, let me think. I don't know what I'm going to eat. I cleaned the kitchen today. I cleaned out the fridge. I portioned nacho cheese into little containers so it could be frozen. I then picked up dog poo and mowed the lawn and wrote in my journal and checked my to-do list to mark those things off. Oh yeah, there's something else I just thought of that I need to get finished before Canada. Projects, like things that I want to bring as gifts, and there's just so much to do. But yeah, I think this is a good rambling hour. I like when I know what I want to talk about. That's, like I said, there is the regulars who tune in and watch this, but I don't know what you guys want from me. So all I can do is ramble about the things that are important to me and hope that people enjoy that. Ash says, I will apologize if my tire pump interrupted your live before dropping Allie off. Oh, is that what that noise was? That's okay. It didn't really interrupt. It wasn't too loud, like as if it ruined the podcast. I just didn't know what it was. So, yeah, luckily, like I said, it's not dark yet. I hope everyone had a good summer solstice. Salsa. Just kidding, not salsa. Summer solstice. Letha is the season that we're in now, if you do learn about witchcraft and stuff. The funny thing is that living in England, and you know, with England and Scotland and stuff like that, there's so many different beliefs and religions and different things in life, but with the witchcraft and the stuff that I'm learning, they literally still practice pagan things here, more so than maybe in other areas of the world. Although no, I can think of other areas that think about or practice these types of things too. But like I'm saying, there is it is just normal for people to talk about the summer solstice, or to go to the what's it called? You know what I'm talking about. They threw paint at it, the stupid oil people. I'm not saying, listen, I'm all like, if you want to protest, that's fine. And I have my own issues with companies, the oil companies and everything else, but I don't think throwing paint at monuments is the way to get your point across, especially seeing that monument has nothing to do with oil. Stonehenge, that's what I'm trying to think of. So England, Stonehenge. So yeah, like even like the maypole and mayflowers and May Day and all that stuff, like there's things that it is crazy. And I'm gonna do an episode on this when I get, especially when I get back from Canada. I'll be more focused on the interests I have, but I want to talk about, as I learn, and I'm going to write these things down, things that we do in our lives that we don't even realize are based in what witchcraft is and stuff. But as well, the more I learn about it, the more I realize that witchcraft is just another, there's so many similarities to all the different religions. If you, you don't have to learn, like, just because you want to, okay, learning about something doesn't mean you become that. So if I wanted to immerse myself in the Muslim religion and learn about it, it doesn't mean that I want to become a Muslim, but I want to learn about all the ways that they do things and say things and what different celebrations they have and everything else. And the more you learn about these different ways of life and religions and everything else, the more you realize, well, that's the same. You take someone who's Catholic and you take someone who's Muslim. If they really talk about their religions and their practices and their prayers and their things, that they're like, well, we do that. Well, we do that. Well, oh, that's different. But that's, you know, like, there's so many similarities that it's ridiculous that people fight and kill each other over these things when really it's like how people can hate because of a skin color. That is so freaking ridiculous. How can you, my skin changed? Do I fight with myself because in the winter my skin is different than it is in the summer? Like, how can you? So it's the same with religions. They basically are all the same thing, and people will literally fight and kill over it because I don't even know why. Would you want that person to believe exactly what you believe? Or you think because they don't believe what you believe that they're wrong? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. But like I said, the more I learn about, like, witchcraft and stuff, there's so many things that we do in life that we don't even realize that we're practicing things that people who practice witchcraft already do. Like I said before, blowing out candles on your birthday cake, making a wish before you blow out the candles or after, whatever, bringing a Christmas tree into your house for the winter solstice, Christmas. And like, there's so many things that we don't realize because of when Christianity took over from so many of the pagan things, and like, and how things have gotten meshed that we don't even realize. Unless you study the other side of the thing, you won't realize how many things are the same. Or, yeah, it's just ridiculous. So love of thy neighbor and learn about thy neighbor. Even if you don't want to become a practicing Jew or Muslim or Christian, or if you don't want to practice witchcraft, I don't want to become a Wiccan. A Wiccan is a religion and a way of life. I do not want to become any religion, but I want to learn more about witchcraft. Do you know what I mean? If I learn more about Muslims, then it doesn't mean I want to be that. I just want to learn more about it. And I encourage you guys to think about the things that you don't understand, or that you think that you might have a prejudice against. Why do you have that prejudice against it? And what can you do to educate yourself more about it? And even Donald Trump, if you hate him, why do you hate him? What is it about him that you hate? Or his beliefs or his ideals, or like anything that you are for or against? Look at the opposite of that and learn more about it, because I can guarantee that it is not what you think it is most of the time. You're going to learn things that you didn't even realize. Absolutely. I cannot believe it is so stupid that growing up in a non-racist family, in a family who loved all different cultures and colors and everything else, has its downside. What is the downside to being in an all-loving, accepting family who will love you if you're gay or straight or black or white or like all the... What is the downside to that? The fact that I was so clueless to these things. Because we've always accepted and loved everybody in our house, and that's how we grew up, I didn't realize how much racism is out there. I didn't realize how many people hated other people for their religion or where they came from, that they were an immigrant, even though so many people are immigrants. We've traveled the world for the whole time that people have existed. We have migrated and went to different places. I didn't realize how much hate was out there because I was raised in love. This is what I'm saying. Everything has an opposite, and you really need to look at the other side to be able to grow. So again, that can be with yourself, working on thyself, but also learning about other people. It is insane to think that such a positive... I've said this about my parents spoiling me too, with like, even financially. My dad did everything for his family. He wanted us to have whatever he could provide that we needed. And so many times he bailed me out because he had the money. He wouldn't have done it if he didn't have it, but because he had it, he bailed me out financially so many times. And that can be looked at as such a positive thing. The fact that he worked so hard and that he had this money to help his kids and everything else. But guess what? I didn't learn to stand on my own 2 feet when he was doing something positive and that he thought was the best thing for the situation. It was, and I'm grateful for it, and it made me happy, but it didn't make me into a better person. It didn't make me have to stand on my own 2 feet and take care of myself. I didn't do that until the Bank of Dad closed and said no more. Then I had to take responsibility for myself and become that person. So there is so many things that we can think that we're doing something positive and right for the betterment of other people or ourselves or whatever. But there's a negative and a positive to everything, every situation, every decision, everything. I want you to take this week to just look at the yin and the yang, the positive, the negative, the light and the dark. And dark doesn't mean bad. Look at the difference of the other side. Whatever situation you come up with this week, think about the other side of that situation. Okay? Even if you're like in your car and somebody cuts you off, instead of just being like, what a stupid driver, why don't they learn how to drive, and what do they do? Think about, did they just make a mistake? Did they just find out someone died and they're just not in their headspace? The other week on Father's Day, I don't know what was wrong with me. I had a headache and I just wasn't like focused. And Thomas was talking about how bad of a driver I was, which, you know, just joking, because yes, I've had a couple accidents, but really overall I'm a really good driver. But then I drove over these like bollard things, these plastic things that people had on the verge so that you don't drive on it. I didn't even see them. I was just out of sorts. Most days I'm a great driver, but something was wrong with me that I don't know. So what I'm saying is, like, lots of situations are misunderstandings and miscommunications, and you just don't look at the other side of things. You don't know what else is going on around. So yeah, I want you guys to focus on those things this week. Yeah, what else can I tell you about? Yeah, I want you guys to do some soul searching, some self looking at yourself, who you are you who you want to be, and if not, how do you get to who you want to be? So look in mirrors. I want you to seriously look in mirrors and see who you are. And if you're, that's what, like, can you even look at yourself in a mirror? Can you tell yourself that you love yourself? Can you treat yourself with respect and love? And can you treat your neighbor with respect and love? This is a big week for you guys, because you guys need to really get real with yourself. So while you guys are getting real with yourself, unless you've already done work like this, I am going to keep learning that not everybody is where I'm not saying I don't have work to do on myself. And I'm not saying that I have it all together. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying that we're all on different journeys, and we absolutely forget or don't even think about the fact that the next person to us is on a different journey, a different place in life. They have different experiences. They have, the next person has done work on themselves that I haven't done, and vice versa. Like, I am going to try and remember that everybody else has a different story, and even though I'm okay in life, it doesn't mean the next person is okay in life, and maybe I need to be more empathetic and sympathetic to other people's situations. So whether it's looking at other people and working on that, not working on them, but working on yourself to accept other people for whatever, or working on yourself to accept who you are and loving yourself, because maybe that's where you need to focus. That is what we need to do this week. So then you guys can tell me next week what you guys have learned and what has happened to you this week. Because what did somebody said this week on something I heard? They try to look at every negative circumstance. I can't remember what word they used. Every like bad thing that's happening. I don't remember what the word is. So good things happen, yay, everybody's happy about them. Bad things happen, and you think like it's a bad thing, but they try to look at every bad thing that happens in their days or whatever as a lesson. And I thought that was really good, if only I could remember the word. So every bad circumstance, or whatever the word is I'm looking for, everything that happens to you, good and bad, but we tend to not look at the good as much because we just let it go because it's good. But the bad things, instead of thinking it's a curse or it's my life is shit, or it's whatever the bad thing is that happens to you, think what is the lesson in this? Why did this happen? What am I supposed to learn? So anyways, I could go on and on about self-help stuff because like I said, I've read so many books and worked on myself for so many years. Again, it doesn't mean I have it all together or that I've remembered everything that I've learned or that I couldn't, that I don't have lots of work to keep doing, but I have come to this a lot sooner than a lot of people. That doesn't mean that's a bad thing. It means that we're all on our own journeys. We come to things in our own time. And maybe this, just watching this live right now, is the time for you to realize that it's time to put yourself first and start making you the best version of you. Anyways, I got lots to do in the garden and my mind is like, it's crazy and I'm very like, so I just am gonna go and get the stuff done that I need to get done in the garden today before it gets dark. And I know I have a busy week and it's almost time to go to Canada, which I'm really excited about. Like I said, I'm not stressed in a way that I think things are not under control, but there's just a lot to do. So I'm got anxiety in a good way, like anxiety, like building up, like I got this to do, I got so much to do, and I'm so excited, and I will see you guys next week from wherever I am, and I love you guys. Have a great week, and we'll see you later.